Yeah. There's just one thing I wanna say. The real, yo. There's just one thing I wanna say.
Shalom, Israel. All praises to the Most High in Christ. Welcome to another edition of The Way, the Truth, and the Life, bringing out the truth while edifying our brothers and sisters. Enjoy the class. Shalom.
There's just one thing I wanna say. The real, yo.
Okay, I just got to do a video to bring you the truth behind why me and Chris Harris is not cool no more. He did a show last night where he was talking bad about the New Testament, calling it trash, and talking about Hamashiach Yahushai. He didn't fit no prophecies and stuff that was there in the Tanakh. And I was waiting to see if a Messianic brother that believes in Hamashiach was going to call in to defend Hamashiach and the New Testament, but no one actually did. So I was listening, and it just got real belligerent. Like the ones that believe in Hamashiach was afraid to call up and represent, and address their questions when they were supposed to be teaching, but yet they were asking questions. I pushed number one and to go ahead to, answer their questions. And I wasn't going to mention no names, anything like that. And Chris Harris basically shut me down, saying that how we had some agreement to not call up on no show that he's doing, which we don't have no such agreement. I'm going to prove it to this video that there is no such agreement in place. We don't have that. I was trying to get an agreement like that put in place, and he denied it. He didn't want to agree to it, and I'm going to prove it in this video. But I want to give you a history that led up to why me and him is not cool anymore. Okay, so I want to start off and give you the history of it. Okay, it all started out when he had a dialogue with Zadok ben Israel, and I called up and asked a question about Numbers 25, where Phinehas killed the Israelite man and a woman of Midian, and the Most High called it an atonement for the nation of Israel. Okay, and after that, he denied it and different things. You can go on YouTube and Google it and see. But I want to start to play the voicemail he left me after that show. Okay, I'm gonna start from there and play this voicemail, and then continue with the history from there.
Hey, Amayan, that was an excellent question you asked last night, and I got the answer for it. It kind of took me by surprise. Now, according to what you said, when the Most High accepted that as an atonement.
Okay, so you see, in his voicemail, he said that the Most High accepted it as an atonement. That was his words. Okay, so he see clearly that from the question I asked and when I read it, that the Most High accepted it as an atonement. I'm going to play it back so you can hear him say it again one more time. Okay, here we go again.
Hey, Amayan, that was an excellent question you asked last night, and I got the answer for it. It kind of took me by surprise. Now, according to what you said, when the Most High accepted that as an atonement, and
okay, so there you have him saying it again. Okay, now you're going to have him hear him say, to show him that the Most High accepted that as an atonement after he just admitted it, that the Most High accepted it as an atonement. I'm pointing out that he's not conscious of what he is saying. Okay, I'm going to play it.
He strayed away from cursing Israel because of what the priest did. I'll give you that one.
Okay, then he said, I would give you that one. Okay, clearly that he acknowledges that there was an atonement made by the death of that man that Phinehas killed and that woman of Midian. He said, I'll give you that one. I'll play it again for you so you can hear it.
But now, according to
Okay, all right, here it is. Kind of messed up. Here it is. Play it.
away from cursing Israel because of what the priest did. I'll give you that one. But now, according to the New Testament, can you show me where the Most High accepted this as an atonement?
Okay, so now he's asking, show him where the Most High accepted it as an atonement, when he just admitted that the Most High accepted it as an atonement. And then he said, I give you that one. You heard it twice. And now his question is that show him. I just showed it to him when we read it in the book of Numbers. I just showed it right there. So, I mean, I don't understand what he's saying here, but I'm going to finish play the voicemail for you.
For your sins, and he still cursed Israel anyway. Because as you see, with the Midianite woman who was an illicit lover, the curse was strayed away from Israel.
Okay, so now he said that the curse was strayed away from Israel. Nothing there in that chapter talks about a curse. It mentions a plague. There was during the Baal Peor, but nothing there is mentioned of a curse. Okay, and that word translated plague is the Hebrew word magepha, and it means a slaughter. And when you read verse 5 there, Moses was told to kill all the men that were during the Baal Peor, basically to slaughter them. Okay, so there wasn't a plague going on. There was no curse. The word curse is not mentioned nowhere there at all in the chapter. It was a slaughter that was going on. So he's there mentioning curse because he's trying to bring in Deuteronomy 28, verse 15, 16 down to 68 about the curses and different things. This is what he's trying to mention here. Okay, that's the things he's trying to mention. So I'm gonna finish playing off the voicemail for you so you can hear what he says.
The curse was not strayed away from Israel when Jesus died for their sins. You understand what I'm saying? And you got to show me where the Most High spoke and accepted that.
Okay, so he's not referencing where Jesus Christ died, that the curse was not strayed away from Israel. He's talking about the curses in Deuteronomy 28, 16 to 68, which that was not what Jesus Christ's death came to do. It wasn't about taking away no curses. It was about paying the price for a blood covenant that was made. But that's how he's trying to correlate stuff, by bringing up a curse that was not in Numbers 25 at all. Just putting stuff into the text that's not there at all. Then trying to equate it with Christ. They're trying to say, well, if he acknowledges that there was an atonement there made by killing a man, and if Christ did the same thing, then he must also put away a curse, which again, these things are not in the text nowhere at all. He's putting these things in to try to disprove Christ as the Messiah. I'm going to finish off the voicemail for you.
That's the key. So if you can give me a call back, I'll be all ears to hear your answer for that.
Okay, well, as you can hear, that's the voicemail that he left after I asked the question. You see him there clearly confused about the whole situation, admitting it, then denying it, and then bringing in some stuff that's not even in the text nowhere. So that's the beginning of how me and him just start. I'm going to the next phase of it. Okay, so after that situation there, me and him was going to debate that topic because after the response on YouTube, Sal suggested that we should probably get in the ring on that topic. So we was going to do it. And then Chris twice backed out of the debate. 2 times we set it up, and twice he backed out. And I called it 3 days before he was going to back out. I called Sal 3 days before and told him that he wasn't going to do it. You know, because I already saw that the information I was bringing, that, you know, he had nothing for it. So he found an excuse to back out of the debate. So twice that happened, and I was through with it after that. I was done. You know what I'm saying? So then they had a hot seat, and then I called up to ask a question to Judah, because then me and Judah had set up a debate, the brother in their group. And then he backed out of it. He called me whack. So I know what whack means, an old hip-hop term. But, you know, he's always using these funny terms about tomato can and tomato sauce. So I thought maybe he had some kind of funny thing behind calling me whack. So I wanted to find out what is he trying to say. So I called up and I asked him, and he basically talked about how I was low tier and I wasn't top tier, or I wasn't, I guess known enough or whatever to debate him. And my thing was, well, if I had debated Chris Harris, who he says is the best debater in his whole group, if I'm good enough to debate Chris Harris, then I'm sure good enough to debate you. You know what I'm saying? So that was my point to him. So we kind of went back and forth, and I mentioned like, no one in your group can really beat me debating. You know what I'm saying? And I ended like that. So then Chris Harris called me up and left me another voicemail, which I'm going to play for you here.
Authentication successful.
Okay, I'm going to play this voicemail for you here. What he left me after they had their hot seat. Okay, this is what happened.
Hey, Amayan, the way you saw it up there yesterday, man, that wasn't cool, man. I don't want to say that you were looking for attention, but it wasn't really cool. But you want the debate, let's make the debate happen. You want to still make that debate on Jesus the atonement for sin, let's make it happen. But I promise you this, you will regret debating me after this day. I'm going to smoke you on this one. And I tried to give you a pass because you were still my boy. But I got to destroy you on this one. The Most High's name will be magnified in Jesus' state. So calm down. Let's make it happen. It's on, brother. Oh, it's on.
Okay, so here you have it right there. Okay, so he's the one that called up, wanted to debate me. This is the third time. The last two times he backed out of it. So this was the voicemail left showing you that I didn't call him out. He's the one that called up because he have a misunderstanding of what happened with that call. I'm going to play that. I'm going to play a portion of that as well to show how he misunderstood what was going on when I called up there. And it wasn't me, it was actually Judah. Okay? So from there, let me get that voicemail right quick and play that. Okay, I'm going to play part of this audio here with me and Chris Harris. Here, this is audio of him talking about what happened when I called up on Torah night. I'm just going to play part of it just to show you that he misunderstood what was going on. And again, he talked about doing the debate again. This is about the day after that voicemail. Talk about doing the debate, and he's going to mention on here where he's not going to back out. Again, I said before that he had backed out twice, but now he's going to hear him say that he ain't going to back out this time, because I was through with it after the second time. Let me play this audio here right quick, just a little small portion of it.
Hello?
Hey, Shalom, what's up, bro?
No, my beloved brother, Amayan.
What's going on?
You put the challenge out there. It's on. Make the debate happen. Don't worry. I won't cancel. What? You came on tour night. It's on, brother. I love you. You know that. But it's on. You know that, right?
Come on, bro. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was Judah.
Oh, that was you that called, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm saying what transpired on it because of what Judah said. Listen to it carefully. I called with a question. He said the reason why he wanted to debate me because he said I was whack. Now come on. What do you mean? What do you mean I'm whack? What that's supposed to mean? So I asked the question, and he went off into that I would.
Incoming call from.
Okay, I'm gonna continue. I just got a phone call and it threw me off of where I was at. But I'm gonna play the voicemail. Well, not the voicemail, the audio of when he called me out my name, and then I'm gonna get into the text messages to show you what happened after that, and to show you that we don't have no agreement in place. So he didn't agree to the agreement. So 1 second here, and grab this audio right quick.
Now I'm gonna see the answer. Look. So I'm a snake in the grass now, right?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So I'm a snake in the grass now, right?
Hold on, I'm talking.
Okay, so now he asking, so I'm a snake in the grass now. And I called him that because you hear in the other audio, he's saying I'm his boy, and different things. So Then he goes and he slanders and lies about me, calling me out my name and different things. So that's why I called him a snake in the grass, and he didn't like what I said, so he called me up, and you're gonna hear what he calls me. I was going to explain to him why I said he was a snake in the grass. I was going to give him a history of what he did that led me up to say he's a snake in the grass. You're going to say he didn't want to hear it. Let me finish playing it for you.
Let me get you on speaker 1 second. Because it ain't working. I don't know with this phone. Go ahead.
So I'm a snake. So I'm a snake in the grass now, right?
Yeah,
okay,
bro.
Have I ever disrespected you?
Yes, you have.
Okay. Too fucking bad. Too fucking bad. Grow up, nigga. You got your ass spanked in the debate because you don't know shit. The whole audience saw that you don't know. Nigga, you about as dumb as you sound, nigga. And your God is fake, nigga. All praises to the Most High. You weak as fuck like that weak ass doctrine you have. Go worship that hippie on the stick, bitch, nigga.
Okay, so you heard of the audio of what he said. He asked me, was he a snake in the grass? I responded by saying yes. And I was going to go off into it, explain to him, and he said he didn't care. He went off into. You hear how this is how he be speaking behind the scenes. I want people to know that this is how he talk behind the scenes. He's in the front here on these platforms acting like he's cordial and all that, but he really ain't. That's how he really be talking. You hear it for yourself right there. I'm gonna play the audio. Now I'm gonna from this point, Sal at a conference for us to try to resolve it, and I'm not gonna play that. I'm not gonna play that because there's gonna be more stuff like that. So, but I'm gonna pull the text up um, of what actually came out of that to end this video out. 1 second, grab these text messages. Okay, here's the text messages from the conference call that we had. As you can see, it says after the conference call, Amayan. This is Sal sending this to Chris Harris. After the conference call, Amayan said, moving forward, don't mention his name on the show. Don't mention it on social media. He said he is going to do a video addressing the RIP Amayan video, but that's it. He said he's not going to call in on any show you've done as a gesture of peace, but you must do the same thing. It says, for the record, Amayan wants to know, do you agree to these terms? See, that was the thing. Do you agree to these terms? Right? And down here in blue is where I text the terms to Sal, detailing it right here. I said that to him, and that's what he texted him. But now I actually wrote it out in blue. I'm gonna scroll. I'm gonna get to the next part of the text so you can see it in detail, all of it. So the first part is Shalom Sal. Amayan. Here is. I'm gonna go off into it in the next text message. 1 second. Okay, here's the rest of it here. Shalom Sal Amayan. Here is what I wanted to say as far as me and Chris Harris going our separate ways. One, Chris Harris to not to speak my name out his mouth on any video anywhere. Don't mention my name in any comment on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or any social media platforms. Don't call in on any show or debate I am doing and ask me no question. He can call in and ask my opponent a question, but don't say anything. I'm gonna get the rest of it, but don't say anything to me. 1 second. Okay, the other part, you can question, but don't say anything to me, and I will do the same when it comes to his name. All this is contingent on Chris Harris agreeing, and I do one rebuttal video on their RIP Amayan video to correct the lies and slander in that video, because according to the Torah, I was supposed to be present to defend myself, or at least be able to give my side of the matter before judgment is made. Last, I wish Chris Harris all the best in the future. Shalom. This was what I text Sal and to text him for him to go ahead and response. Okay. As you can see, this is Chris Harris' response. This is the rebuttal. This is the same thing I went through in the blue right here. This in the background. This is what Chris Harris obviously texts back to Sal. Sal, that nigga is dead to me. Me again, LOL. He's a ghost. Tell him to stop crying. This was what he left. His response. Okay, I'm gonna get the rest of it here. Okay, 1 second. Okay, here's the rest of it. Again, Sal, that nigga is dead to me. Me, LOL. He's a ghost. Okay, tell him to stop crying. I don't know why there's no LOL there because he's dead serious. If he's on a show and he's wrong, I am not saying I won't call in, but I won't mention his name. So he's saying right here that he's saying that he ain't going to call in, but when he did his show that he did last night about Painted into Prophecy, when I called in, he claiming that the agreement is we're not supposed to call in, which if he agreed, it would be right. But as you can see the response here, he's not saying that he won't call in, but he won't mention my name. When I called in, I didn't mention his name. I just called in to address the lie. Like he said here, he says if he's on a show and he's wrong, like he was on a show last night and he was wrong, stuff that he was saying was completely off. He's saying I'm not saying I won't call in. See that? Just like I did. I called in. Same thing he's saying that he won't call in. But I won't mention his name, which I didn't mention his name. And when you go down, he says, tell him no. That means he's saying he does not agree to the stuff that I stipulated in blue. Tell him no. He got beat in a debate. Get over it, right? Worst thing I did, I guess he's saying here, worst thing ever did was debate that clown. So the worst thing I ever did was debate that clown. He sounds like a hurt girlfriend, LOL. I just read all this, blah, blah, blah. So there you have it. He disagreed to the text that I sent, the agreement that was put out there. Again, he said right here, he says, tell him no. You can read it right there. And that he's not saying that he won't call in the show if you think I'm wrong. I thought he was wrong and I called in. So we don't have no agreement put in place because he didn't agree to no agreement. Yet on the show, he was saying that how we agreed to not call up on nobody's show. Clearly here he said he didn't agree to it. He clearly said if I'm wrong, he ain't saying that he won't call in. Showing you that he's just a liar. He's just lying. I just had to do this video to bring the truth out. You know, so I want to hear his response once I post this video up and he sees it. I want to see what he's going to say. If I'm lying here, I got the text proof right here. I got the audio proof right here. This is what it is. Again, all you have to say is that, brother, we publicly stop lying. Publicly admit that we don't have an agreement or we do have an agreement. Publicly admit that you agree to what was stated in the blue. That you won't mention my name publicly. Say that. Because right here, he's saying that he still might call in. That's why I called in, because he didn't agree to nothing. So I'm going to wait and see what he's going to do with this video. I'm going to end it right here. All praises to the Most High God, Yahweh. Express begotten Son of Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. With knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and mercy. And I'm going to say shalom to all the nation of Israel.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Thank you for joining us. All praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, meaning He is, I am, or causes to be, and His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Hawashai, or Christ Jesus in English, which means Anointed Savior. Please join us again. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, Israel.
Now you know.